At some time after the sermon, either depending on the divine service that we're following, either it comes right after the sermon or after the creed, you see this thing come out. We have a pair of them, the offering plates. And for many people, they think this is just the way to pay the bills of the church, to pay the pastor's salary, to keep the lights on, to keep the copier going, the secretary in the office, the bulletin covers, whatever else we need to get the ministry sustained and to move forward. And that is partially true. The offering does do all of that. But if that's all it was, if it was just, hey, it's now time to pay the bills, we'd have the offering plate in the back. There would be an admission fee, if you will, or a club fee. If you were a member, we would send you an invoice and say, here is what you owe for this month. But the offering is intentionally placed in the middle of the worship service because your offering, what you place in here, is an act of worship. It's not just an obligation. You see, in the Old Testament, the offering was a tithe, a tenth. And some people think, oh my goodness, a tenth, that's Old Testament stuff, that's harsh. But the 10 was the base. Everybody was expected to give a tenth, plus at various festivals, there were other gifts that you gave. If you sinned and you made your confession, there was a gift. If you had a windfall, a blessing, a thanksgiving offering was done, a child was born, etc., etc., etc. So the 10% was the base. In the New Testament, we're not given a percentage. We're not given a base upon which to build. But Paul urges us as Christians to make our lives and offer our lives as living sacrifices. All that we are, all that we have, we live and do to God. It doesn't mean we put our whole paycheck in the offering. It does mean that everything that we own and all that we have, we are dedicating for usage to the Lord. So part of your offering, apart from what goes in here, is how you do your job. How you are as a father, a mother. How are you as a husband or wife, or as a child, as an employee? Are you doing what you can and offering it up to God, your work, your service, your skills, your ability, your time given to the Lord? So when the offering plates come around, it's not, did Pastor give a good sermon today? I really like, that was a great joke he told. I love that story he shared. Or you don't say, well, I'm not putting anything in there because he really had a stinker and it fell flat today. You give to the Lord. You give to him because you've heard his word and you've received. You've received from him great, great gifts. He came with his law and he whacked you back into position and you go, thank you, Lord, I was straying. And he comes with his gospel and he heals and he restores and he forgives. And we say, thank you, Lord, for I was hurting, I was sinful, and you have restored me and brought me back. The offering is an act of worship. That's why we place it in the worship service. So you determine in your family what will actually go in the bowl, even as you work to give all of yourself to God as a living sacrifice. I suggest a percentage. What you put in here, think of a percentage. And then check it every 4, 6 months, a year, and figure out, is it hurting? Am I angry when I put it in because I'm putting so much in? Or can I put it in and I don't even think about it? I would like it when the offering goes in and it's given joyfully, cheerfully, and yet it hurts a little bit. Make it a little bit of a sacrifice. Make it hurt, but make it a joyful hurt. Give yourself, give all your time, your energy, and your abilities to the Lord.